Now let's talk Goldilocks. The other day, when we discussed with Richard Dawkins whether God's an invention, 1,200 viewers wrote in to add to the debate. Tonight we return to the theme. Is it just chance that the universe has the right conditions for life, neither too hot nor too cold, like the third bowl of porridge in the Three Bears house, the so-called Goldilocks Enigma? Could it be rather that there's some organising intelligence at work? One for our science editor, Susan Watts.
Time of Isaac Newton, all scientists were effectively religious, and they looked upon their scientific work as uncovering God's handiwork in the heavens. And so they asked the great questions of existence too.
For cosmologists who spend their lives pondering the universe, it's the kind of question they like to mull over on a walk in the park. How is it that the universe is so perfectly poised to support life? So perfect, in fact, that to some physicists, Paul Davies among them, it's all beginning to look like a fixed-up job.
When we look at the underlying laws of the universe, what we find is that there are features to them that seem to be just right for life. And if we imagined that you could play the role of God and twiddle the knobs of the designer machine, and you maybe twiddle one knob and make the electron a bit heavier and twiddle another knob and make gravity a bit stronger. Imagine doing that. You don't have to twiddle those knobs by very much, and you would simply wreck any chances for life to appear in the universe. So what we say is that the parameters that go into the laws of physics seem to be fine-tuned, and if you just detune them a little bit, there could be no life. So the whole thing looks very contrived, very ingenious, but very contrived. What's going on?
What are the leading scientific explanations for that? And what is the leading theological explanation for that?
Many scientists say, well, it's just a lucky fluke that the universe is so well suited to life, that one day we will have a theory which will explain all these numbers, and that's just the numbers they will be. There'll be no freedom for maneuver. And so these people shrug aside life as of no significance. Then another group of scientists say, well, this all looks so contrived that there has to be some explanation to it. And maybe that explanation is that instead of there being one universe, maybe there's a vast multiplicity of them. This is often called the multiverse. So this thing out there that we've all along been calling the universe would just be a tiny component in this much vaster, more elaborate system. The religious explanation is an obvious one, that the universe looks as if it's been designed by some sort of intelligent being, and so perhaps it has been designed.
What alternatives might be out there?
What I would like to find is a scientific mechanism that can explain the relationship between the underlying laws, which are bio-friendly, and the existence of life itself.
The key to understanding Davies's point in this book is getting to grips with his levitating turtle idea.
I've got a super turtle here. I think it might be a tortoise, actually. But perhaps you can explain to us the origin of this analogy with turtles.
Well, there's a famous story that's told in discussions of this sort about a lecturer who stands up and gives a lecture about the meaning of the universe, and partway through is interrupted by a woman who said, well, you may be very clever, but I know how the universe is put together. The world is standing on the back of an elephant, which is standing on the back of a turtle. To which the lecturer replies, well, what is the turtle standing on? And she said, you can't fool me, it's turtles all the way down.
And even with the scientific theories, you're saying you end up with having to have faith in the laws of physics, is that right?
That's right. All the explanations on offer for why the universe is as it is depend upon something outside itself, some sort of levitating super turtle that holds the whole scheme up, whether that's an unexplained God or an unexplained set of laws or an infinite number of universes, whatever it is. I'd like to break away from that Tower of Turtles problem and have some explanation for the universe that is contained within itself, so that mathematics, the laws of physics, the universe, life, consciousness, and so on, form a self-sustaining, self-explaining system.
Earlier today, Professor Davies took his turtles into discussion with Michael Frayn, the playwright and philosopher, who also has a new book out that grapples with our place in the universe.
I cannot think how I got myself into the position where I'm discussing in public cosmology with a cosmologist. I think there is a point of convergence between our two books. Without human beings to say something about the universe, the universe doesn't have any graspable existence.
My scientific work has convinced me that there is something like a meaning or a purpose to the universe. Now, you have to use those words very carefully. The best I can say is that the universe seems to be about something. There's a coherent scheme of things. I think you couldn't be a scientist without expecting that if we dig deeper and deeper to the next level down, that we will uncover something which is ordered and intelligible.
But you're not looking to a God in the commonly understood sense of religion to be the explanation?
Absolutely not. What I'm trying to do is to build the existence of observers and the existence of laws into a self-explaining, self-sustaining loop, as opposed to just taking something as given.
As if to reassure readers that by the end of the book they've delved further into our origins than even some of our greatest thinkers, Davies ends with a quote from a 1940s radio debate in which Jesuit priest Frederick Copleston tries to coax the agnostic philosopher Bertrand Russell into discussing how we all got here.
But your general point then, Lord Russell, is that it's illegitimate even to ask the question of the cause of the world.
Yes, that's my position.
Well, if it's a question that for you has no meaning, it's of course very difficult to discuss it, isn't it?
Yes, it is very difficult. What do you say? Shall we pass on to some other issue?
Let's.